My name is James Whistler. Job title, I'm a security administrator, and my industry would be transportation. My solution that we'll be discussing is the next-gen SIEM that I have in place. My primary use case is just for log retention. I've been using it additionally for analysis and to troubleshoot potential issues on my network and infrastructure, find out what I have in my network that may be causing problems. Since we've actually got it installed, the most valuable feature has just been the log reporting. We actually, within 3 hours of installation of LogRhythm, we were pulling error reports that actually indicated we had a switch about to fail, and saved us about $10,000 of a potential failed switch. We're actually ramping up the analysis and the analytics part of the LogRhythm. We're still in the process of building a lot of that. We're trying to build out as clean as possible. So what we have in place is a lot of the intrusion detection and basic PCI compliance. How does it improve my organization? Is going to be a lot of just background and log meters, so we can sit and see what's going on, as well as be able to see errors as they populate immediately, since spending time looking at logs is ridiculous trying to put all that in place. Some of the automated playbooks we will be using in the future as we get everything implemented and put in place. The idea is it's going to help automate a lot of what we're doing and make it more efficient, as well as be able to preempt potentially a lot of other errors. Stability thus far has been really good. We've had it up for about 6 months, and I've had no failure points with it. Little bugs here and there, but that's expected as you're working through and getting everything stood up. But it's been pretty stable and pretty rock solid. I don't have an answer for that one, because our infrastructure is pretty stable in what it is. It's not really going to be scaling much. It's basically what it is in place. The times I've used tech support, it's been really efficient. I've gotten responses usually within 24 hours and fixes within days at the worst. The initial setup was actually me and a technician. I did 90% of the installation myself, and he basically came on board and verified everything I did and gave me some pointers as I went through. The installation was incredibly straightforward. I was able to get it set up. I stood it up on my own about 90% of the way without any impact from anybody else, and just the final pieces of staging was done with somebody else. I'm probably going to be around 750 sources that I'm using right now, somewhere in that realm, and it's been robust enough to handle everything that we've been putting through it. I have about 150 to 200 more that I need to stand into it, but it's been pretty stable there. I think, I'll have to go back, I think we're just shy of 1,000 messages per second that we're sitting at. Additional features. A lot of it for me would be the efficiency in signing up and standing up systems, as well as a little bit cleaner on case management. It can be a little bit complicated to go through and actually be able to analyze and compile the information that I have. At least that's what I found so far. Those would be the two biggest things. We needed to set up a new solution based on our company requirements that were being rolled out. We needed to step up and add something. When I came on with the company, I wanted to add in a SIEM solution immediately. I just got the funding and benefit because the company said we had to. That in place, a lot of it, there wasn't anything in place beforehand, so it was just very much me saying this is what we need and this is how we need to roll it out. Through my research is where I fell back onto LogRhythm. Most important criteria on a vendor is ease of use. As I have a small team, it's pretty much me running everything, so I need to make sure that I am able to do it efficiently and be able to pass it off to somebody when I need to be able to hand it off to do. Next piece is what it can provide and the amount of tools that it can provide for me in very short order. On my short list for some solutions would have been Splunk. Also looked at Spiceworks, SolarWinds, and a few other smaller ones out there, but basically Splunk and LogRhythm were my primary two. My security program was non-existent when I started, so this is basically one of the first implementations that I did to step up my security implementation. For this, there really wasn't anything to work with, so it's slowly building its maturity through LogRhythm and a number of other sources. I'd say an 8, just because there's always room for improvement and there's always room that we can work on. So there's always benefits, but it's been really good with what we needed, and it's been very stable for our implementation. My advice to somebody who's looking to stand up a SIEM solution is do your research, look at the white papers, look at the documentation they have available on how other people have responded and how people have stood it up on their own. Get them some information and then start playing with it before you start doing an implementation. Gives you a lot of foundation and makes the implementation part a lot easier.